exciting to come and interview you today, Moira, because I've known you for many years but had no idea that you were a writer.
Well, I wasn't until recently.
You wouldn't guess by looking at Moira that she's well into her super life. But she's taken a completely different direction, because all your life you were an administrator?
Yeah, I was company secretary of the electricity company.
And nothing could be further from what you're doing now. So it's an extraordinary story how you came to write a story about blonde hedgehogs. And I believe it started in a museum, is that right?
Yes, after I retired, I ran the museum shop. And a visitor went in one day and asked the custodians if we had any blonde hedgehogs, little toys, stuffed ones. And they said no, but we'll see what we can do. And I went on the internet and I searched, and all I could find was the brown ones. So found a knitting pattern, had a go at knitting one, and that's him. And it sort of went from there. I did a couple, put them in the shop, and they sold. So friends suggested a cushion, so that's how this big one came through. And we had a story, and each time you bought a hedgehog you had a story, and I ended up writing 12 stories. 12?
This is amazing. And of course the interest is that the blonde hedgehog is unique to Alderney. So it's got a really special connection to the island.
That's right, yeah.
And you say that when you go out on walks sometimes you get inspiration for even more.
Yes, I see something or I hear something, and I think, yes. So I come home, just put the idea on the computer, and then I go back and I add to it, or I polish it, or some stories they just flow, they come very easily. Others I struggle with. It'll take me quite a while to do it, but it's great fun.
And so these are going to be published fairly shortly now.
Yes.
And you say there's going to be a colouring book as well?
Yes, I've got, Frank Venton has very kindly agreed to do the illustrations, and there's going to be 6 stories and he's doing 6 illustrations, so that means we've got enough for 2 books. And we've decided that we're going to do a colouring book as well, so children can colour in Herbie and his friends on their adventures.
So you just came up with the idea from a random question in the museum?
Yes.
And you've lived in Alderney all your life?
I was born here.
Yes, so it's set in Alderney?
Yes, everything is set in Alderney. Frank used to come here as a child with his mother, and he had relations here, and a lot of his childhood memories and mine are the same.
I think that's amazing.
And it's lovely. Everything's set in Alderney.
Well, it is a unique sort of island, isn't it?
I think so.
With all kinds of eccentric people, and thank you so much for talking to me today. This is not to infer that you're an eccentric person, Moira, but it's so exciting to find somebody. We've had a little discussion about the fact that when you retire, it's a really good opportunity to take a completely different direction, and you just find that the amount of time that you had before to work disappears.
Yeah.
And you become fully involved in...
Well, it's your time to do what you want. I'd say to anybody coming up for retirement who's worrying about it, don't worry about it. It's a wonderful opportunity. You can do things that you've never been able to do before. And like me, you suddenly go off on a totally different track that you didn't even think of. But it's brilliant, it gives you a new lease of life.
And it's quite exciting on this steep learning curve, isn't it?
Oh, it is, and it makes you use your brain, because I've had to learn things about publishing and all sorts of things I knew nothing about.
But you've done it.
Oh, I think so.
Congratulations, and I'm so pleased to be able to have this time with you and to hear right at the very beginning about how it all happened.
Thank you.